do we have an essential role to play in this cosmic game of Lord Krishna? It is twofold. One, individuals do have that freedom, do have the choice. That's why Arjuna is choosing to not be part of this whole bloodbath of yuddha, the war. On the other hand, Krishna is repeatedly reminding Arjuna of what his obligation is. That is, yes, in the cosmic play of Krishna, as an individual, what I do or do not do may not make a big difference. Rite pitva na bhavishyanti sarve ye avasthita pratyanikesu yodha. You know, you run away and this war is going to end. All of these are going to be killed. Whether you participate in it or not, they are destined to die. So that gives almost like everything is predestined. But then why would Krishna be having this dialogue if Arjuna is predestined to anyway participate in the battle? Meaning individually we have a choice. But collectively, what I choose may or may not make a big difference. There is this collective that moves on its own, within its own laws, and not controlled, governed by our individual desire, our individual expectations. If the book is to be read as a text on moral codes of how to live a life, all the Acharyas have considered the Bhagavad-Gītā as a moksha shastra, a discipline for liberation. We have to keep in mind that moksha is parama purushartha, the highest goal of life. The only thing is we are confused what amounts to moksha. And we have different interpretations and different understandings as it comes to moksha. What Śaṅkarācārya understood as moksha, we should not stop at that point and start exploring if other Acharyas have understood the category moksha differently. And this is where I find Abhinavagupta's understanding very contextual. Mokshasya nama. The category moksha is laya, to have an absolute dissolution, wherein in the Adhisha, the Lord Bhagavan, who is constantly arising, nityodita, there is this consistency, and that nitya udita, arising, gives a sense of dynamism, shakti. Because it's not passively staying somewhere aloof. It is nitya udita, constantly unfolding. And what is it like? Akankshaya virahite. And in that, when you dissolve in this collective, constant unfolding of the Absolute, there is no anticipation in individuality. There is no angst, there is no quest. We need to be careful to not consider this akanksha as iksha, because Abhinavagupta considers ichha shakti intrinsic to the Absolute, and he would not say that this Absolute Bhagavan is bereft of ichha shakti. It is his ichha shakti that is what unfolds in the form of the world. And therefore, this is not bereft of ichha, but that is akankshaya virahite. There is no akanksha, individual anticipation due to limitedness. And in what is it like when we do not have those personal anticipations and anxieties? how do we dissolve in that constant unfolding of the Absolute is sakala apravibhaga rupe, in the form, in the essential nature that is devoid of any differentiation. And what else can we give as a defining characteristic for this state of liberation that has this auspicious intrinsic nature? It has an inherent nature of sarvagyata, omniscience, and sarva karanadi has the agency or activeness of all the different modes of expression. Every single action and all the knowing is embedded within this non-dual, free from differentiation, the absolute state within which the subject dissolves in this constant arising nitya uditya being of oneself, being of the Absolute. This liberation is a different depiction, as you can see, from Niswabhava, because what Abhinavagupta is stressing here, there are two words to pay attention to. One is Subhaswabhava. It has an auspicious nature as its intrinsic inherent being, inherent presentation. So this is not Shunya Swabhava. This is not devoid of inherent nature. This is contradicting the idea that there is no fundamental, foundational nature of the Absolute, or the world as such has no intrinsic nature. There is no self-nature. It is devoid of self-nature. It is devoid of para or other nature. It is devoid of any nature. So this is number one, countering the idea that is the Absolute. There is the Absolute and it has intrinsic nature, and the world is real because it has the Absolute nature. Because the world itself is, the next point is nitya udita. This is arising constantly. So this is not that the unfolding of being is finite or historical. The unfolding of being is eternal.